Tonight, as pressure mounts on President Akufo-Addo to sack his finance minister, NDC minority MPs file a vote of censure seeking to remove Ken Ofori-Atta as they cite alarming incompetence and ineptitude leading to the collapse of the Ghanaian economy.
And therefore, I am convinced that the Minister for Finance will have to be removed by this parliament or censured. The president has said publicly that he, the president, is helpless.
And all of this is coming on the back of an unprecedented move by at least 80 New Patriotic Party MPs who have issued an ultimatum to government: sack Ken Ofori-Atta or risk facing a boycott of the budget and other government businesses.
And notice is hereby said that until such persons as aforementioned are made to resign or removed from office, we, members of the majority caucus here in Parliament, will not participate in any business of government by or for a president.
My name is Blessed Sogan. Top story, as always, is brought to you by Vodafone. Further together, and tonight, bold and unprecedented. The reactions by sections of the society following the declaration by at least 80 New Patriotic Party MPs for President Akufo-Addo to sack his finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the Minister of State at the ministry, Charles Edu Boahen. The minister has been under intense pressure for months following intense economic hardship, despite the president defending him. The minority's demand is being backed by the minority NDCs who say that his alarming incompetence and ineptitude is leading to the collapse of the Ghanaian economy and associated high cost of living. Well, we'll hear from the minority shortly, but first of all, listen to the Member of Parliament for Asante Akim North, Andy Appiah-Kubi, who addressed a news conference in Parliament earlier today. He blamed the finance minister for the current state of the economy, warning they will stay out of the 2023 budget presentation and debate if the demand is not met.
We are members of the majority caucus of the Parliament of Ghana, and we here so present a greater number of the said caucus. My name is Andy Appiah-Kubi, and I am only here as spokesperson for the majority group, without more. We have had occasions to defend allegations of conflicts of interest, lack of confidence, trust against the leadership of our finance ministry. The recent developments within our economy are of great concern to the greater majority of members of our caucus and our constituents. We have made our grave concern to the president through the parliamentary leadership and the leadership of the party without any positive response. We are by this medium communicating our strong desire that the president change the Minister of Finance and the Minister of State in the Finance Ministry without further delay, in order to restore hope into the financial sector and reverse the downward trend in the growth of the economy. The summary of our concerns leads to a plea that the Minister of Finance, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, and the Minister of State of the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Charles Edu Boahen, be removed from office. We pray that this prayer will be carried to the presidency.
Well, so that's the story of the 80 NPP MPs. The minority now have a boost in their quest to surmount the constitutional hurdle of getting at least 183 MPs to back their motion after some of the NPP MPs today gave the president an ultimatum to sack the minister.
Industry from the imminent threat of collapse to save the economy itself from further hemorrhaging. Mr. Speaker, it is only this parliament that can act and act united. Yesterday at the Business Committee, Mr. Speaker, I had called to serve notice to the majority leader and chairman of the Business Committee that I will lead my side to file a motion for the removal of the Minister for Finance. To put it properly, I indicated strongly to him that as a matter of urgency, the Honorable Minister for Finance and the Governor of Bank of Ghana will have to appear before this House, Mr. Speaker, urgently to explain to us the steps they are taking to save this economy, to save businesses, particularly with the unacceptable and continuous epileptic fall of the cedi, which has increased the cost of doing business. And Mr. Speaker, our traders and businesses are suffocating. And therefore, I am convinced that the Minister for Finance will have to be removed by this Parliament or censured. Because the President has said publicly that he, the President, is helpless and that he is happy with him, even with the deteriorating economy. Mr. Speaker, under Article 82 of the 1992 Constitution, I don't have the numbers enough to have succeeded in a vote of censorship where I require 2/3. Understandably, this morning, my heart is warmed. I hear that a number of our colleagues opposite will support us and support to save this country and the economy from any further deterioration in the hands of Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta. Mr. Speaker, I invite them to go beyond the rhetoric of a press conference, to join us wholeheartedly and support us that we are filing the motion of censorship pursuant to Article 82 of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I believe as you retire, it's been fun. That is why you were served notice. Mr. Speaker, the motion is before you. As you walk back to your office, I'm sure you will do that which is needful. But Mr. Speaker, as I have said, we didn't have the numbers, but we are convinced that he is not competent enough to proceed further to hold this economy and this country to ransom.
So that's the position of the minority leader Haruna Idrisu. Majority leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says it is intriguing that the minority leader is announcing that he has filed a motion even when it has not been filed. According to him, the minority is seeking to force the hands of the speaker to admit the motion of censure against the finance minister.
Mr. Speaker, I believe these concerns and expectations will find expression in questions that will be filed, and I don't know whether the motion that the minority leader is signaling is part of the concerns. Mr. Speaker, it's intriguing to hear the minority leader give an indication that he's filing a motion, and if you have filed a motion with the greatest respect, the admissibility of a motion lies with the Speaker. And you can come and speak to it when the Speaker has not admitted it. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader and his gang, they have the uncanny ability of attempting to tie your hand behind your back, to forcibly admit a motion, regardless of its intent. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader should know the rules of anticipation. Mr. Speaker, these are rudimentary. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you have alluded to a ruling that you intend to give to the preliminary objection that I raised.
But there's more tonight because Vice Chairperson of the Finance Committee, Patrick Boama, says that if sacking everyone in cabinet will help the party win successive elections, he will support it.
And it's affecting the performance of MPs and MMDCs who are appointed by the president. Then steps ought to be taken. We need to hear from our finance minister, we need to hear from the president on steps that are being taken. Because when it comes to the removal of a minister, the Constitution says you need 2/3 of members present and voting, and it's by secret ballot. From the way things are, you cannot guarantee it. You cannot. So I don't think it's in the interest of our side of government to remove our minister. But when push comes to shove, to save the party, the government that we are asking to break the eight, which I don't believe in, I believe in winning successive elections. We are not here to win 2 elections and say we are breaking the no. So whatever it takes for the government to put in place the right measures, if it requires removing all the cabinet ministers and setting up a new government, we will support it.
And also tonight we're getting to hear from Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Penyumake, who says they will not stop their MPs from venting their concerns.
We should be happy that people don't keep what they have in mind within them, that they are being gagged. So we take all of that in good faith and continue to soldier on and work together for the betterment of our people.
Does that mean the leadership, from all indication, was not aware about the move of the 80 members of majority? The leadership of the majority. It appears the leadership of
Thank you so much. I appreciate. We will have an opportunity to talk again.
They are also calling for the resignation of the vice president as chair of the economic management team.
It's not constitutional.
The governor of the
have no
Republic.
And a lot of reactions greeting this latest demand from across the aisle in Parliament. So that's where I want to start off from by hearing from parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante, who's joining us for more on this. Kweku, first share details of the minority vote of censure with us. Exactly what are the reasons for which they believe must go?
So according to this statement that have now been filed to the Speaker, as we learn, they are raising up until about 6 grounds, which they say are sufficient enough to gauge support from both sides of the House. Let me run through you the number of that. One, it says despicable conflict of interest, ensuring that he directly benefits from Ghana's economic woes as his companies receive commissions and other unethical contractual advantages. They also say the unconstitutional withdrawals from the consolidated fund in blatant contravention of Article 178 of the Constitution. They are alleging illegal payment of oil revenues into offshore accounts in flagrant violation of the Constitution as well. They say there is an alarming incompetence and frightening ineptitude, resulting in the collapse of the Ghanaian economy and an excruciating collapse of the living crisis. And then a general, what they say, general gross mismanagement of the Ghanaian economy, which has occasioned untold and unprecedented hardship. So there are about 7 grounds that this memorandum that have been filed to the office of the Speaker by the Minority Chief Whip, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, is seeking to canvass the votes of both sides of the House to censure Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and, as it were, technically remove him. We know that the constitutional threshold to censure a minister is 183. That is 2/3 of all MPs. And the minority by themselves will not get this, because they are only 137. Even that, they don't have the assent of MP. So they are about 136. They definitely need support from the majority side to be able to carry this through. And so they're signaling from some of the NPP MPs that if government, the president, did not sack the finance minister, they will not cooperate. It presupposes, suggesting that if push came to shove and then they had to vote in the House, some of them may be willing to vote with the minority. I should add that when it comes to voting to remove a minister or voting to put people in office or taking them out, the vote is secret. And so when people vote, and you heard Mr. Patrick Boama allude to that, if it ever goes to a secret ballot, you may never know what the results will be.
And I'm just wondering what else the minority has been relying on and saying on the floor of the House. Kweku Asante. It appears we've lost Kweku Asante, our parliamentary correspondent there. But Kweku, yes, I was just asking about what else has been happening on the floor.
So, generally, this as first day, they were supposed to discuss a number of issues, but this matter has dominated attention in the House. Just like you said, the Speaker obviously determined to make a ruling on Sarah Adwoa-Safo's issue. I've had to move that to tomorrow when he would be giving his full ruling on the matter. But this it seems as though the support is gathering in the House, including very key members of the New Patriotic Party NPP side in the House, who are all signaling that the president should take some tough decisions on Ken Ofori-Atta, and not only him, his other Minister of State in charge of the finance ministry, Charles Edubuahin, should also go as well. So what has been going on, I've been trying to gauge the support of both sides, and it seems as though members are very much concerned about the economic crisis.
Okay, my colleague Kweku Asante, giving us the latest from Parliament. Joining me via phone now is Deputy Majority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim. Also, we're joined by the MP for Subing, who is also one of the MPP MPs from the Ashanti region, Eugene Entry. Also joining us here on Top Story. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Let me start off with you, Eugene, because I want to first of all find out if you're one of the NPP MPs who's actually signed on to that petition asking the president to relieve the finance minister from his post.
Yeah, good evening to your listeners and viewers. Yes, I am Eugene Entry, and yes, my signature is on the list.
And I'm wondering what the implications would be then.
There are no implications. It's just that we went on a 3-month recess today, and we are only expressing the worries and concerns of our constituents to the President of the Republic of Ghana as members of his party representing the good people in our respective constituencies. We got back over the weekend and talking amongst ourselves, we realized there was a need to invite the majority leader of Parliament to come and engage us and convey our worries and concerns of our constituencies to the President. We did all that on Sunday for some 4 hours, so you can imagine very heated matters came up. And we dispatched the Honorable Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business to go and meet the President and put our concerns to the President. I mean, we've all seen the developments in our country, and everywhere the President has been, a question has been put to him about the performance of his cabinet minister. So it's just one too many concerns that people have raised that we feel the President must act on it. When we met, the message, I believe, was conveyed to the President. We didn't get any positive feedback. That was yesterday. And we decided to, hold a presser today in Parliament with the other colleagues who also support the call for the President to humbly ask the Finance Minister and the Minister of State of Finance to step aside and to be replaced by other people.
And this is the point at which I want to, of course, bring in. Obviously, this is the point at which I want to bring in what it is that the President himself has been saying when, of course, the conversation comes up in terms of finding an alternative or a replacement for the Finance Minister. He feels that generally these are baseless calls. The very recent defense of the president came when he visited the Ashanti region, your backyard. So I'm sure that you're quite conversant with what it is that the president's belief is on this matter. So your petition may never see the light of day. You agree?
Sorry. Prior to the president's visit to the Ashanti region, remember, I think he was somewhere in the northern region where he said that those making those calls for Ken Ofori-Attah's dismissal or resignation were NDC members. You remember? I don't know whether you remember.
I'm with you, yes.
The president was touring the north about a month or two ago, and he said that Ken Ofori-Attah, those asking for his stepping aside or removal, are NDC members. But we've demonstrated today to the entire country that his own members of parliament are not happy with Ken Ofori-Attah and Honorable Charles Edubuahin. So this is not NDC talking, it's us. And you see, the bottom line is that we are talking about the future direction of the MPP administration led by President Akufo-Addo and the party itself and our electoral fortunes going forward. That is basically our point. It's not about individuals. We are, like I said earlier on one of the sister stations, we are running a democracy. not a family dynasty. So if the members of your party and so-called leaders of the various constituencies of the party are making a clarion call to you, the president, you must respond and act decisively. That's what we're asking the president to do. I don't think it's too much to ask the president to ask two people out of how many people to step aside from his government. There are so many people who are not part of his government, who were part in the first time, like myself, who are now at home. We are not ministers. We are not giving the reason why we are not reassigned and what have you. So I don't think two people leaving administration at this point should be a matter of concern for the president. And that is the point we made today to the entire country.
Of course, when all of this started, you were standing by the finance minister in the initial days, claiming that what we're experiencing was a result of external factors, i.e. the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukrainian war. Are you moving away from that stance as a political party and as MPs?
No,
many of you
my
had publicly on the economic crisis.
My principle in joining this colleagues of mine to make this position today to the president is that events leading or pronouncements made by Ken Ofori-Atta, Ghana's finance minister, before the IMF negotiations started, right, have done him, right? You have told the whole world that Ghana is a great nation. You have the resources. You have the personnel. So we're not going to go to IMF today. We will go tomorrow. We will go in 100 years. The next minute you find yourself around the discussion table. Do you really think that these IMF guys will take you seriously, or you are somebody they really want to engage? That is my point. I'm not talking about Ukraine and Russia and COVID. That is, we know all that. But I'm talking about the pronouncements made by the finance minister. His own words.
Yeah, but
right?
These are claims that your party was making at the time the crisis was in its early stages. I'm not sure you're running away from that fact, but beyond that as well, we do know that the president will be engaging you as members of parliament on this latest demand. Are you eyeing someone? Is there any possible replacement?
No, it's not my call. It's the president's call. But I keep telling you that this so-called mantra that MPP have the men and the women, we do. So the president must ask these two personalities to step aside and replace them. Because sometimes fresh faces might, send a positive signal to the market.
Yeah, but the feeling also out there, the feeling out there as well is that you are asking someone to be hired to clean up, quote and unquote, the mess that was created by one man, the same man you're blaming for the economic crisis. Allow him to fix it. Why not?
No. He's part of the problem, so he cannot be part of the solution. So he must. Ken Ofori-Atta must go. I'm afraid he must go. We've come to a position where if he doesn't go, we are looking at very, very, very difficult times ahead for this government. And it's not something we are proud of doing. We must support this government to succeed. We want President Kufuor to leave a legacy, a befitting legacy. We don't want 2 or 3 people messing the whole thing for us. So that's our point. We've made a point. We are interested because we are going to campaign, hopefully in 2024, on the legacy achievements of President Kufuor. If we see that the direction of the party or the direction of the government is not what we are all expecting, then we have to make a call to the president as members of parliament.
And Eugene, this is where I want you to hold on for me briefly. Let's also bring in Deputy Minority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim, who's also joining the conversation. In fact, the minority, for them, they believe that this is the time to trigger a vote of censure on the finance minister. Ahmed Ibrahim, it appears the majority leader says you've not even completed the processes. So why the vote of censure?
Well, let me say a very good evening to your cherished listeners. As a matter of fact, I must thank our brothers from the minority for supporting the call of our brothers from the majority for supporting the call from the minority leader, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, and his team, that we must together find solution to the economic woes of this country. And by so doing, we must solve the problem by fixing the weaknesses. And the weaknesses we have identified is the finance minister himself. the governor of the Bank of Ghana himself, and if possible, dissolution of the economic management team led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The starting point is that the finance minister himself has not been able to manage the economy very well, and therefore we are calling for his censorship. And this motion for his censorship was filed on the 24th of October 2022, and that was yesterday. We filed the motion for his censorship yesterday. Today, we went to Parliament and we have the convincing support from our brothers from the majority. As at 18th July, before we went on recess, we were preparing to file it, but the number we had from the majority side was only 20 members. We've gone on recess for 3 months. Today, the number we had from the majority side is over 80. And before you can sack or dismiss or censure the votes of no confidence on the minister, you need 183 MPs out of the 275. And out of 275, we in NDC, we are 136. As at 18th July, we had 20 MPs from the majority, and that brought the number to 156. As of today, the 25th of October, we have about 80 from our brothers in the majority. So when you add the 80 to the 136, then that brings our number to 216. But out of these 216, you need only 183 to sack him. And that is what prompted the idea that now we are ready and we can fire him. So that is the reason why we triggered the call for motion of censure against the finance minister.
But be it as it may, the rigorous process, of course, a cumbersome one as well. You need 2/3 of the House to try and complete the process. 80 of the NPP MPs say, well, they do not believe particularly in the approach that you're taking. Allow the president to first of all do the needful, fire Ken Ofori-Atta. Why are you not mounting pressure on the president, brother?
The president himself, they told the president in cabinet that he must reshuffle the finance minister. The president told them that when Ken Ofori-Atta was using his data bank to sponsor the MPP campaign in 2008, 2012, and 2016, where were they? He will not sack him today. He will not sack him tomorrow.
And I'm sorry, you're making claims. You're making claims. I'm unable to verify
that
at
was
this point.
That was in cabinet. Then when the president went,
I'm not sure we have the record on that. I'm not sure we can find any cabinet record
then,
on that.
Then when the president went to Kumasi,
let's deal with that point first of all before you proceed. I want you to withdraw that statement first of all.
Oh. That is a valid point that I will not withdraw. The members of the MPP himself know, and the president himself knows.
Minority,
the MPP MPs, before coming out boldly to the president that they don't like him today, they don't like it. Has it ever happened in the history of Ghana before? And why do you think that members of the same party will come out boldly?
I'm sorry, it does not take away the claims you're making about the president.
It is not a claim. It's the in-house meeting discussion did not bring fruitful results, and that is why they come out to come out on the media. You think that the 80 MPs just came straight away to the media without telling the president in-house that he should sack the finance minister? You think that's what happened? They first of all discuss it. Then the president, he will not sack him. He used his data bank to sponsor his campaign. Then when the president went to Kumasi and the media also, they are stronghold, then they asked him. He still maintained that he was not going to sack him. So these two conditions are the reason why the 80 MPP MPs have come out. Do you call it a claim?
And I need to state at this point that we have no means of verifying the claims you're making.
If it is not true, let the presidency or let the MPP MPs come out to say that it is not true. But I'm telling you that we work together. That is why I'm able to give you the roadmap that as at July 18th, July 2022, the number of MPP MPs that we were speaking together with them.
Okay, let's look at the six.
We've been talking to. It's not just today that they came out to say that they are coming out.
Okay, so quickly,
in the history of Ghana,
let's look at the 6 claims.
Have you ever seen a party, a ruling party MPs coming out to stage a press conference against their own president.
Let's look at the 6 claims you're tabling as part of the censure
Precisely.
motion. What exactly are you seeking to do with these claims? We see a portion of it where you're referring to ineptitude on the part of the finance minister. Proving some of these claims may be difficult. You agree?
There are constitutional breaches that the finance minister has breached. And that is why we are treading on this path. We are not just going to be making unfounded claims. And that is why we've brought up 6 specific points. The more reason why we want the finance minister to be sacked. So it's a process that is supposed to begin tomorrow, and it has begun today. The finance minister himself was called to parliament and was asked as to whether his companies have benefited from the Eurobonds process. He answered in the positive. Put that one aside. So when we are talking of conflict of interest and all those things, they are all part of it. The finance minister, when he brought his budget, the funding of the budget, spending of the oil monies without parliamentary approvals and all those things, when we make those claims, they are all factual statements that have been proven on the floor.
All right, then.
And that is why we don't want them to be mere allegations that we don't want it.
Ahmed Ibrahim, I'm grateful for your time. Eugene Entry, I'll give you 30 seconds for you to wrap up.
Yeah, I don't think that in fact, no. What everything that Honorable Ahmed has said about the president's meeting in cabinet and whatever, I want to disassociate myself from it because he was not part of that meeting. I was not part of the meeting. And I've not heard the president. I've been with the president for almost 20 years. I've never heard him say that Ken Ofori-Atta finance his campaign. How much money did Ken Ofori-Atta have at the time to finance all those elections? Please. Let's have a civil discourse. If we try to bring in such inaccurate statements and falsehoods, it doesn't help.
It's your word against his. But for now, let's wrap up with the meeting tonight. Will you back down if the president says, I'm not firing Ken Ofori-Atta?
Well, we are not backing down. A choice has been made. It's either the president removes these 2 individuals or we stay away from parliament. Yes. Anyway. We are speaking to the president about the views of our constituents, not us. Yes, we are delegates, remember? We are delegates. We represent the good people that are respected constituencies. And they've given us a mandate to come and represent them in the House. We've gone into recess for 3 months. We've done consultations. Some of them have come to us, and they've told us to tell the president. And we have told the president. So the choice for the president to make. Either he will stick by the finance minister and lose the support of his 18 members of parliament, or you humbly ask the finance minister to step aside with the minister of state, bring in a fresh face, and then get the support of his members of parliament. It's as simple as that. No ifs, no buts. Nobody's going to back down.
Right. And I'm grateful for your time, Eugene.
Thank you.
Entry, MP for Subing. And, of course, the Deputy Minority Chief Whip Ahmed Ibrahim joining us earlier on Top Story. Newsnight is next.
Charlie, some things can be very painful, like hitting your toe against the corner of a table. Or a failed cash transaction because of insufficient funds. But that's where Vodafone Cash Overdraft will help you shop life regardless. Vodafone Cash Overdraft is the latest innovation that adds to your Vodafone Cash wallet when your balance is not enough to pay for your Vodafone transactions. Just dial *110#, select option 5 to opt in. Now, let's say you won't buy 50 cedis monthly data, where you get only 30 cedis for your Vodafone Cash wallet. You will get a notification saying you can access additional funds to complete your transaction. You accept the offer, done. Overdraft. Oh, say yeah.
Oh, yeah. The new Vodafone Cash Overdraft service allows you to access additional funds to complete your Vodafone Cash transaction. Be it paying for your broadband subscription, buying airtime or mobile data, or even sending money. Terms and conditions apply.
Vodafone.
That's it when some know so. I'm dying, boy, I need hustle. At Enterprise Life, it's possible to live your best life. Ladies, enjoy cover for your lifestyle with Bloom Life Insurance for today's woman. Families, let's safeguard your well-being with a family income security plan because family matters. And for you, live freely with our Funeral Finance Plan Unlimited with no restrictions, no limits as you cover your loved ones and yourself. WhatsApp us on 0554 001 924 or call 0307 084 444 for your solution. Enterprise, your advantage.
And you're listening to News Night on Joy 99.7 FM. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta still at post as Joy News checks reveal his participating in President Akufo-Addo's meeting with AGI, Association of Bankers, Council of State, on ways to resuscitate the distressed Ghanaian economy.
So the Finance Minister, the Bank of Ghana, and other senior officials of the government are here to indicate to you where we've got to in the negotiations we're having with the fund, what it portends for the future of economic policy in our country.
Well, tonight we have the latest as banks are directed to stop over-the-counter forex cash payments. These and other stringent measures are being considered by the Bank of Ghana to halt the free fall of the cedi. We have details from the BOG's meeting with Forex Bureau operators and the Association of Bankers as transport operators in the country prepare to meet with President Akufo-Addo over their demands for a hike in transport fares. We'll hear from some Ghanaian workers lamenting the difficulty of adjusting to high cost of living with static salaries.
The salary I was receiving in January, that's the same as salary I'm taking now, but I spend more than 100 cedis on transportation.
I can sit at home for 4 months and go to work for a month. So how do you survive? You spend all your money, you can't even buy anything.
There's more in our latest edition of the Living Standard series, also in this bulletin.
I had a choice between calling time on my political career and walking into the sunset to support from behind, or charting a new path.
The iconic voice of the NDC National Chairman aspirant Johnson Asiedu Nketia launches his bid for the party's top post. We'll hear from him as he announces key reforms he'll enforce if elected.
I think the time has come to consider the introduction of term limits for office holders in NDC.
And in business, Governor of the Bank of Ghana cannot exonerate himself from current price hikes. That's according to Professor William Tripra, as he urges Dr. Ernest Addison to resign. We have details in 30 minutes.
And it's just a day to the crowning of the next champion of this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. Quiz Mistress Professor Elsie Kaufman is anticipating an exciting grand finale which features Prempeh College, Presec, Legon, and Adisadel College.
Finals are usually fun. The students will disagree with you. If you can get into the finals, trust me, you're already a winner.
And my name is Blessed Sogan. Thanks for joining us tonight. Embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is still at post. If checks by Joy News anything to go by, our checks show that the minister fully participated in a meeting called by President Akufo-Addo to seek input from the Association of Ghana Industries, bankers, and the Council of State on ways to resuscitate the distressed Ghanaian economy. The meeting will also afford the president the platform to disclose the outcome of the International Monetary Fund negotiations with government for a possible bailout and its impact on the economy of the country. Opening the session, the president indicated government is working hard to turn the economy around.
Jubilee House today, as you can imagine, is full of activity. So you have to forgive us for being a little late. But basically, what I wanted to do, and that is the reason why also the Finance Minister, the Bank of Ghana, Governor, and other senior officials of the government are here is to indicate to you a little where we've got to in the negotiations we're having with the fund, what it portends for the future of economic policy in our country, and then hopefully to have the opportunity to get your particular buy-in, because we are talking and hopefully concluding soon these important negotiations which are going to have, and you know as well as I do, an important impact on the way forward for the Ghanaian economy in the months and immediate years ahead. So it's basically a familiarization program, and then also to hear from you what you think would be significant that you would want to hear about how
President Akufo-Addo there. At this point, let's hear from Elton Probate, presidential correspondent, who's been monitoring these series of meetings happening. Elton, who have you seen participating in this meeting?
So, Blizzard, we have the members of the government economic management team. The only person who was missing at the first meeting with the AGI was the Vice President, Dr. Manu Baumia. But at the same time, he was swearing in the board of the Coastal Development Authority. So the AGI meeting ended some few minutes ago. It was followed by the Association of Banks here in Ghana. Currently, the president is meeting the Council of State. So the economic management team, the finance minister was present at this meeting, and of course, he's also been present in all the meetings happening here today. The trade minister, the chief of staff, the minister for employment, all were at the first, second, and currently in the third meeting with the Council of State members, which is currently ongoing. Now, interestingly, the finance minister, when the president walked in, was seated among those in the front row. But after the introduction, he moved to the second row, and then his seat was taken by the Minister for Sanitation, Cecilia Abinadapa. It's very unclear why he did that, but I can tell you for a fact that he participated in the first, the second, currently participating in the third meeting with members of the Council of State.
And I'm just wondering what the posture of the finance minister was at the time he showed up.
Well, he's always presented a very calm demeanor. It was, it reflected on him even today. He was, as usual, in his all-white apparel, very calm. Occasionally, you will see him smile with some of his colleagues, but he didn't come across as somebody worried, tense, happy, sad. The way we've known him in his calm demeanor, that's exactly what he displayed today at the first meeting, which the media was allowed to cover the opening ceremony. But I can go into the details of that meeting and information that we've picked so far. Indeed, with the AGI, the meat of it was held behind closed doors. But what we've picked from people, especially some members of the Association of Ghana Industries, is that the president was quite clear on the state of the Ghanaian economy, and at some point actually told the ministers to be open and not to hide anything from members of the AGI. Now, it came to light that there is a stumbling block that is frustrating the ongoing talks between Ghana and the IMF. And the obstacle as of now is the demand by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, for government to present a program to restructure its domestic debt. That, we have been told, is a condition by the IMF. If we are able to fulfill it, then we'll move to the next stage, possibly have a program with the IMF, standing committee, if you like, before the board will approve it eventually, hopefully, by the end of the year. Now, government, on the other side, for my information at stake, is the government has made it clear to the IMF that the situation Ghana and indeed most African countries find themselves in is so bad that there's a need for, debt forgiveness, if you like, debt cancellation. That is the only way we'll be able to move from step A to step B. As to how this will be, this is being considered by the IMF, the World Bank, and other bodies that Ghana and indeed some African countries owe. That is an issue that is awaiting response, especially Ghana and indeed most African countries And my information is that they're looking at how far Ghana is willing to go so that they will follow suit. So we have countries like Nigeria, countries like Cote d'Ivoire, all in waiting to see how successful Ghana negotiation or IMF will be, and then they will follow suit. But all of them have a united position, and that is to seek, to actually seek debt forgiveness from the IMF and the other Bretton Woods institutions.
So
now,
these
as far
are
as
detailed.
it relates to Ghana, the IMF is quite clear. The government will have to present a workable program that looks at how best it is ready to restructure its debt.
Right.
So the issue of haircuts has become very, very, pronounced in our negotiations with the IMF.
Yeah, but
so
how
in
about
the coming days, clearly, the facts will be laid bare, and then we'll know our position as far as going forward is concerned.
I'm just wondering what the position of the AGI was after that meeting.
So the AGI members said that they came into the meeting to offer government its support and to tell government that they are with government in these difficult times. But they are of the view that if government is able to stabilize the depreciation of the city and bring it down, it will help their businesses to grow. Bottom
We
line.
welcome your invitation and we are grateful, and it's our intention, and we recognize your relentless effort to steer our economy to the pride of place and the desire to transform our economy to the best of your ability. We pledge our support that together we shall resolve the intended difficulties as we so find them. We are grateful. Thank you.
So a brief statement there, but beyond that, what happens after the meetings that we're seeing today? I'm wondering what the next one will be, or which one is underway as we speak.
On this journey.
Elton, I'm just asking about which of the meetings is underway and what will be next after.
Yeah, so currently as we speak, unfortunately, after the first meeting was the only meeting that the media was allowed to pick the opening, remarks that was delivered by President Akufo-Addo. That was the meeting with the Association of Ghana Industries, and then after which the banks also had their session with the president. The Council of State members are also meeting President Akufo. They are also looking at the economy and the fight against illegal mining. And then after which, the transport unions will also come and justify why they should be given the 40%, proposed increment in transport fares. But later this evening is another crunch one. The leadership of Parliament from the MPP side, together with the MPP MPs, will also be meeting President Akufo-Addo. The issue in town is a call by some MPP's MPs on President Akufo-Addo to sack Ken Ofori-Atta. Now, we've been told that the leadership of Parliament and the MPP MPs, they have been summoned to the Jubilee House to meet with President Akufo-Addo. What I have established also is that, in fact, from sources close to the fourth floor, is that there is a present no petition before President Akufo-Addo. And indeed, what went on in Parliament, they also heard it for the very first time. So the presidency expect that there is a petition, detailing the crimes that Ken Ofori-Atta has committed, by which they are asking that the president sack him. And then that will form the basis for this meeting this evening, anytime after 8 p.m. After that meeting, I'm sure that the leadership of Parliament and government will come to a position. Will Ken Ofori-Atta go, or is he going to stay? That is a multi-billion-dollar question that is on the table.
Elton, I'm grateful. A long night for the president. We'll see what the decision will be. But speaking of the IMF, the Standard Bank Group says Ghana is likely to secure an IMF program between December and April 2023. That's next year. Government has indicated it hopes that the program can be incorporated into the 2023 budget to be read in November. There's more in the following report.
The group says government will have to conduct some form of debt restructuring that may accompany a potential IMF program. It believes this deal can be secured between December 2022 and April 2023. The group notes that investors hold a view that local debts would have to be restructured. Failure to do so, it says, may not help restore public debt on a sustainable path as domestic debt service exceeds external debt service. It expects Ghana's economy to grow by 2.2% instead of its earlier predicted 3.3% for 2023. Inflation is expected to continue to have a negative impact on private consumption.
And the depreciation of the cedi is far from over, because the Bank of Ghana today met with the Association of Bankers and Forex Bureau owners and operators to find ways of halting the fast depreciation of the cedi. Amongst others, Joy News is learning that the Bank of Ghana will in the coming days direct all banks to stop over-the-counter Forex cash payments to anyone. All payments for those traveling must be in a Travelex check and the FX prepaid card. That's not all. Let me bring in my colleague Mamiesi Thompson, who's details of the measures being considered by the BOG. Mamiesi, what more do we know?
So it is proposed that the Bank of Ghana directs all banks to stop over-the-counter Forex cash payments to anyone. All payments for those traveling must be in a Travelex check or a Forex prepaid card. The Bank of Ghana should not allow any internal transfers or payments of Forex into other local accounts. And also international transfers and wiring must only be allowed for the payments of essential goods and services.
And here's what we're also learning: a proposal on Forex payment for non-essential goods and services. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so Forex payments for non-essential goods and services must be cut down by 70% or should not be allowed at all at this moment. Also, Bank of Ghana should immediately consider adopting the Chinese yuan, UAE dirham, and other highly demanded Forex in addition to the dollar, pound sterling, and euro for international payment settlement. Blizzard.
Mamiesi, I'm grateful. Be guided tonight, because that's part of the measures the Bank of Ghana is considering. And as we indicated earlier, President Akufo-Addo is definitely meeting with various interest groups, including transport unions and the operators as well. As you know, unions have been demanding a 40% increment in the price of transport fares, but our sources are telling us the president is expected to persuade the unions to back down on their demand. The meeting is being attended by the GRTCC, cargo truck drivers, the GPRTU, amongst others. I will bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. But let's stay on transport fares, because it's cranking the hit on pockets, especially in the capital. Many earners say their income still at the same level is continuously being squeezed to pay for high transport fares. Will the ankle hold as they struggle to make ends meet? Let's find out in our latest episode of the Living Standard series.
And in and out, sometimes 60 cities. So because of that, you have to sleep at the site so that you can get the job done.
The salary I was receiving in January, that's the same as salary I'm taking now. But I spend more than 100 cedis on transportation.
I can sit at home for 4 months and go to work for a month. So how do you survive? You spend all your money, you can't even buy anything. You can't even save.
It is a busy morning in Accra's business district. Thousands of people are commuting to their various destinations. Among them are workers who, despite stagnant wages, are now spending more on transportation costs. Many people are now living on the outskirts of Accra to avoid paying high rents, but they are spending more money on transportation. They may have to board at least 2 vehicles to reach their destination. I hopped in to learn about the impact of transportation fares on people's wallets. I meet Richard, a carpenter on his way to see a client. His daily commute is at least 40 cedis. He has a wife and 6 children. With the responsibility of providing at least 15 cedis per day for each child, Richard says he feels a pressure cooker in his head. To save money on transportation, he sometimes sleeps at the workshop and only goes home on weekends.
In a day, because I don't have my destination is not a one-place destination, I can say roughly 40 cities, depending on where my site is. And in and out, sometimes 60 cities. So because of that, you have to sleep at the site so that you can get the job done. You have to save money. There's so much expensive. You are aware, children, school fees, feeding fees. I mean, it's a whole lot. Sometimes you can't eat. you want to give up, but you can't give up because you are giving birth to them already. You have to do all that you can to make sure that they go to school, they eat. So things are difficult.
An electrician seated in the back seat interrupts the conversation and shares his concerns. He earns 80 cedis as a daily wage, but more than a quarter is spent on transportation. According to him, he is unable to save.
My transportation cost me 25 cedis a day. Yeah.
Initially, how much were you spending?
Before about 15 cedis. I can sit at home for 4 months and go to work for a month. Sit at home for 4 months and go to work for a month. So how do you survive? When the work comes, it's like there is pressure on you, but when it's gone, that is all. Or when you're done with that is all. You have to wait.
So within that 4 months period that you are waiting,
you spend all your money. You can't even buy anything. You can't even save because it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
A combined 238% increment in diesel and petrol prices has shot up transport fares by 35% this year alone. This number is bound to go higher should the GPRTU get its proposed 40% increment. Drivers say the transport business is hanging by the thread. They barely break even. Oko tells me this year has been exceptionally difficult.
When my day ends, I hardly get my sales. The money is not even enough for fuel. Sometimes we have to manage till the following day because the price varies at the pumps. These days, I have adopted 1 gallon approach to sustain the business.
His colleague Asari is pushing for a fuel price adjustment or his income will dry up.
Fuel no price no the extra na yako. Sisi adibechi within a month no problem 2 more 3 times a month. It's much to miss. But fuel in there e will be one ya kan obi amba. Sisi ade madam first nanka meja me free fee amaja be 30 cedi for the day.
As for the fuel price, it keeps shooting up. Within a month, the price can change about 3 times, yet the fare is static. We keep complaining, but nobody listens. Initially, 30 cedis housekeeping money was okay, but now, even 80 cedis is not enough. My expenditure has increased. I am paying so much, even my children's snacks. Something must be done about the fuel to save our business.
Passengers are tired of higher transportation fares, but drivers are pushing for them. Whose plea should be taken?
And that's Mamiesi Thompson with our latest on the Living Standard series. Well, let's talk politics. And there's a call from Johnson Asiedu Nkitian. He's saying, let's consider limiting the terms of office holders in the NDC. That's a bold proposition being recommended by the General Secretary of the opposition party, the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nkitian. General Mosquito, as it's popularly called, believes this is the way to grow talent within the party and to enable it to evolve the changing times. Earlier today in Accra, Mr. Asiedu Nkitian launched his bid for the party's top post, the national chairmanship, and he says these were his considerations before making his ambitious bid.
In an interview with Joy News, spokesperson for the Angry Aguna East NDC branch executives, Rashid Tamimu, revealed that the Aguna East constituency elections were supposed to be conducted.
I have not taken this decision lightly. I have weighed all the possible scenarios and concluded that the experiences garnered over the years will prove very useful in our forward march as a party. the order of business before us, both in the immediate and distant future, which include dislodging the obnoxious MPP government led by Akufo-Addo and halting the precipitous collapse of our country, means that we need to marshal our very best arsenals.
Well, he's also announced some key reforms he'll be seeking to implement if he's elected national chairperson of the NDC.
There is a whole raft of reforms that I would like to see implemented under my chairmanship and in conjunction with all stakeholders. These, I believe, will further strengthen the NDC and make it even more viable. The following will be some of the proposals and policy positions I will be bringing on board for consideration as national chairman. 1, it is true that I have been the longest serving general secretary of any political party in Ghana. But it is my view also that organizations need to grow and evolve as they do so. I think the time has come to consider the introduction of term limits for office holders in NDC, as this will help encourage participation of young people at the highest levels of the party and make office holders more accountable. 2, I would also propose a decentralized national congress to elect party executives, and as we have done with the flag bearer, I'll propose that they are, as a first step, held at the regional level, and then after testing the outcomes, held at constituency levels.
Well, so that's Johnson Asiedu-Nketia. The heat is on for the internal race of the NDC, and some branch executives in the Agona East constituency of the Central Region have sent a strong warning to the regional executives of the party to stay away from the Agona East constituency election slated for tomorrow. They have accused the regional executives and some national executives of imposing constituency leaders on them. The branch executives have been protesting in the constituency. There's more in the following report.
In an interview with Joy News, spokesperson for the angry Agona East NDC branch executives, Rashid Tamimu, revealed that the Agona East constituency elections were supposed to be conducted last Saturday, but when they got to the election grounds, they found out that the names of 2 aspirants who have gone through the appeals processes were not found on the ballot paper, while over 400 names of delegates were also missing on the register. Rashid Tamimu called on the national executive of the party to intervene by conducting the elections themselves to avert any untoward developments.
We are conducting this press conference due to 3 reasons. And due to these reasons, we won't allow any elections to go on in Agona East. And these are our reasons. 1, inclusion of qualified aspirants on the ballot sheets.
All right.
We are having about 2 aspirants. I think over here in Agona East constituency, they were disqualified.
Yes.
But they wrote an appeal, they sent it to the national, and they were cleared by Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, the chief administrator of the party. Yeah. Only for us to go to Agona and Sabah on Saturday, for us to see Honorable Malik and Mohammed Bouabin were not on the ballot paper. So due to this, we said we wouldn't allow any election to take effect. Number 2, inclusion of ghost names in the register and removal of elected branch executives from the delegate list. I don't think this is logic. You can't just take someone's name in the register who is a branch executive and then replace with someone who don't even know who he is. If you ask his position or her position, he or she can't tell you who he is. So I don't think with this election can go on. So number 3 is tampering of ballot papers. We found out that about 150 ballot papers lost. That is when you come to chairmanship position, and then 101 ballot papers. That is deputy organizer. So we don't know the reason why from Cape Coast to Aguna and Sabah, a ballot papers could be lost. This is ununderstandable. And we are just appealing to our national executives, especially Johnson Esedun Ketia, to intervene, else there's not going to be election in Aguna East. And then there are so many things that we can do, but out of respect and out of love of the party, we will remain calm and wait for them to intervene. Else, we can't say anything. But
well, some of the concerns from the Aguna East constituency. Let's take a few of your messages coming through on 05511119997. Sami from Kumasi says, where is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the economic messiah? I remember when he was in opposition. Then this one says, well, I'm not getting that message right, so we'll definitely get back to that. This one says that I have always enjoyed, let me try and get this. It is the president who needs Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, and not Mr. Ofori-Atta who needs the job as a finance minister. That's the message coming through from still listening to us in Salt Pond. You can also send yours to us, 05511119997, and then we'll definitely share it with the rest of the world. It's just a day to the crowning of the next champion of this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. Quiz mistress Professor Elsie Kaufman is anticipating an exciting grand finale which features Prempeh College, Presec Legon, and Adisado.
Oh, finals are usually fun.
The students will disagree with you.
If you can get into the finals, trust me, you're already a winner.
Table of men. Pius Kujubaka is here. I'm just wondering which of the schools you're going in for.
Well, as a proud Anglican, I would
go for Adisco.
Yeah. All right, so coming up in the world of business, Governor of the Bank of Ghana cannot exonerate himself from current price hikes. That's according to Professor Williams Prepara, as he urges Dr. Ernest Addison to resign. Also in this bulletin, Trade Minister reassures government support to local poultry industry. The business news on News 9 is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business, Ghana Pay and Alliance Life.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Allianz Insurance since 1890. At Allianz Life Ghana, we have a wide range of life insurance packages to suit all pockets, from individuals, groups, associations, and businesses. We cover your employees, your funerals, pensions, children's education, and your future. Call us on 0302 267 892 or visit our website www.alliance-gh.com for more inquiries. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
Ghana Pay Alande.
Hey, finally! Ghana Pay Alande.
Do more your way on Ghana Pay. Send and receive money at zero transaction fees. Pay bills, buy airtime and data. Transfer money in and out of your bank account and so much more with Ghana Pay. Dial *707# to register for Ghana Pay or download the Ghana Pay app from the Play Store or App Store.
Alande. Ghana Pay Alande.
Ghana Pay. Your money, your way.
This service is powered by Gibbs.
Here is the planet's ultimate game.
The greatest prize in football is up for grabs from 20 November.
This is absolutely wonderful. Here's Mbappe! Oh my word! Ronaldo with the shot. Oh, it's got it! Messi! Oh my God! Sadio Mane! A goal by the African Footballer of the Year.
Experience every minute of all 64 matches of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 live on SuperSport, only on DSTV. Here for every fan.
Hello and welcome to the business side of the news. The Bank of Ghana must share in the blame of the economic quagmire the country currently finds itself. That's according to Professor Williams Prepra. He maintained that the delays by the Monetary Policy Committee in responding to the price hikes contributed to inflation getting out of hand. Speaking to Joy Business on calls for the finance minister to be sacked, Professor Prepra stated that it will be prudent for the governor of the Bank of Ghana to also resign.
The role of the bank of the governor is to bring about price stability. He has also failed in ensuring that he uses the monetary tools that he has to bring about the price stability. So now we want a total change in mindset in implementation of issues. So he must also leave. Remember that I also granted an interview and said that they delayed in taking some measures, and I wrote an article with the graph projecting where the interest rate and monetary policy rate were going to go, but they didn't take the action. And indeed, the World Bank and IMF also confirmed that delays. So he must also give way.
Professor Williams Prepra speaking there. Now, Ghana's economy has become the biggest loser as a result of the country's inability to issue Eurobonds. This is due to the global economic challenges and internal issues. According to the September Africa Markets Revealed report by Standard Chartered Bank, the country's year-to-date index has gone down by a whopping 34.6% so far. There's more for you in this report.
Ghana is followed by Morocco and Rwanda as the countries with the worst return on their Eurobonds. The biggest gainer is, however, the Republic of Congo, whose year-to-date index is up by 9%. The report also said most African countries, including Ghana, can no longer issue new Eurobonds because of elevated yields to their global risk-off sentiment. Indeed, yields rose significantly in the second and third quarters respectively. In the last month, even though yields have decreased, they remain elevated. The report also said constraints in issuing external debt have been subduing goods import in 2022 and supported the narrowing of the trade balance as the government reduced foreign finance development expenditure. Though the government may secure external financing in 2023, it stressed that fiscal consolidation under a mooted IMF program would further limit capital goods expenditure.
A Business Desk report. Now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, has assured that government is committed to boost the growth of the local poultry industry. This is to support local economies and help job creation for stakeholders in the value chain. Alan Tremantin gave the commitment after touring the ultra-modern chicken production, processing and marketing complex of Bunta Farms in the Eastern region.
Government is determined as a matter of policy to enhance local capacity for the production of chicken and other poultry products, because we believe that it will create significant opportunities for job creation, particularly once you have investors like Mr. Jan who put in their resources into building this particular anchor facility, then it allows other smaller producers as agro-growers to feed into this particular anchor facility. And I have no doubt in my mind that since this is consistent with government's policy to support local poultry production, that this will become one of the signature companies for us in this country.
Minister of Trade and Industry Alan Chemanten speaking there. To some agri-related stories, the Minister for Agriculture for South Africa will be leading a delegation to Ghana during this year's Farmers' Day celebration. According to the South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Grace Mason, the plan feeds into the broader scope of the African Union Agenda for 2022, which is achieving food security on the continent.
During the first week of December, where Ghana will be celebrating its Farmers' Week, there are a number of activities. So we have the South African Minister of Agriculture that will be bringing a delegation of South African farmers, because we feel that the opportunities are here. At the apex of the economies is basically agriculture, and that is the African Union agenda for 2022, finding food security and nutrition.
More on agri-related stories, an agronomist, Dr. Abu Sakara Foster, is calling for the right infrastructure to the agricultural sector, warning the sector risks losing out if the right investments are not made. According to him, Ghana is endowed with vast arable land, labor, and a good rainfall pattern to produce enough food to feed the country. Dr. Abu Sakara Foster spoke to Joy News.
We have a significant amount area which is lying down idle. So labor, land, water, and sunlight lying idle for 6 months of the year. We depend only on the rainy season. And we have talked about it time and time again. Make that fundamental investment in infrastructure, etc. That will bring that at least even 30% of that land under cultivation during the dry season. Let's secure those areas of production, put the infrastructure there, hold it, and that will provide us the reliable supply for processing. And it will add to what we produce in the rainy season, giving us our buffer in food security and ensuring that our GDP grows by at least 15-20%, because what you can produce in that dry season will add to what you produce in the rainy season.
Dr. Abu Sakara Foster is an agronomist. And that's it for Business on Newsnight. Back to you, Blessed.
And of course, Pius, we do know that a series of meetings have been taking place today between the Bank of Ghana and stakeholders, including the Association of Bankers. So let's get their side of what transpired today and what they intend to do just to consolidate the efforts by the central bank to address the free fall of the cedi. John Ewa is with the Bankers Association. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Newsnight. So what's your impression of what the discussions have been at the table today when you engaged leadership of the Bank of Ghana?
I would say thank you very much for the call. It has been a very fruitful engagement with the central bank. As you may be aware, as bank, we regularly, hold these kind of meetings with the central bank, and given the circumstances that the country finds itself now, the governor thought it would be good for us to have this meeting here, so we can close our, our ranks in terms of these currency issues that we are grappling with. But I heard a report, your news article, that was talking about raft of measures that Bank of Ghana is introducing or about to introduce. And I must say with 100% certainty that in all the deliberations we have with the central bank, no such restriction was announced by the governor. You should all contribute towards creating market confidence and stability.
Right, and that's why I'm interested in knowing exactly what the takeaways were from that engagement.
Yeah, so basically, some of these discussions are, there's a reason why they are held behind closed doors, because some of them, the information are market sensitive. But the takeaway that I picked from the meeting was a lot more coming from the regulatory side in the FX market to assist with the stability of the currency. So from now all the way on going to tomorrow to the days that we have ahead of us, I'm sure the central bank will be doing more. Working with the bank, there are a lot of things that the banks can also do, complement the efforts of the central bank.
And in concrete terms, what do you intend to do as an association to help address the free fall of the cedi?
We have to keep up confidence. We have an established view that a greater percentage of the currency depreciation we are seeing now is driven by speculation. And as people continue speculating based on unfounded facts, you will find that you put a lot more stress on the currency. And, it's all these things are happening at a time when we are in the peak season of forex demand. So that, together with the speculation that we have in the environment, is what is creating it. So as banks, we have a duty of restoring market confidence and, talking to our people. Even if someone applies for FX, we are unable to provide, how you communicate to the customer to be in a way that does not send the market into another kind of spiral, depreciation. And basically, that is what our banks will be doing. We'll be doing targeted FX provision to the kind of demand that comes at this time of the year. So you should maybe find a lot more scrutiny of your FX requirements, because we want to be sure that whatever we are getting the FX for is something that cannot wait, and it's something that we need. It's critical. You are not buying FX to hedge, because you're in your own view, maybe there's a currency under pressure, and therefore you are finding safety in another currency. We do not want to contribute to that kind of speculation.
But are you confident in the measures? At least there was behind closed doors. But are you confident of the measures?
We have should I say, we do not have unlimited supply of dollar. So no matter what measures that as banks we come up with or the regulator comes up with, if we are not able to manage the demand side and everybody is chasing the few dollars that we have, we will not, no country can survive this. So we all have a duty, and that is what I will end this call with, that we all have a duty of ensuring that the market confidence is restored. The currency, there's good assets. You can invest very beautifully in a local asset. So why are people chasing another country's currency? You understand? Once we do that, we are not contributing to the solution. We are adding on to the problem, and that is what we advise customers. If you don't need it, do not go for it, so that we do not add to the spiral of depreciation we are seeing.
I'm grateful. Johnny Wa was part of the leading members of the Ghana Association of Bankers that engaged the central bank today. Tell us what you think about his assurances that we're getting tonight, but we also need to bring you some updates on it. I'm sure that you've heard by now that Ghana has been slapped with a visa ban by the United Arab Emirates. Well, the rumors making the rounds appear to be false and should be treated as rumors, just as they are. The UAE ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Ami Al-Awi, has been responding to these publications that Ghana is amongst 20 other West African countries handed with travel bans. He has, however, revealed that there's an adjustment in the visa system in the UAE affecting requirements of foreigners. He spoke to my colleague Samuel Mbura.
There is nothing official related or regarding those rumors or the news. Nothing. There is no official statement from my government or for the other governments. So our daily work routine is the same. Nothing's changed until we find or receive any announcement or official statement. We can talk about it.
So are you telling us that it is not entirely accurate?
There is nothing. Maybe there's something in the process, but I can't assure you. UAE, we have adjusted the new visa system, which is more flexible with the foreigners, which makes Dubai or the UAE easy to reach. But for the ban, I can assure you we didn't receive, or there is no official statement about it.
We're all looking forward to that, the much anticipated grand finale of the 2022 edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz, which will see Adisadel College, Prempeh College, and the undisputed champions, Presec Legon, slug it out for the national trophy and the bragging rights. Speaking in an interview on Love FM, Quiz Mistress, Professor Elsie Kaufman, anticipates an all-exciting grand finale happening at the Great Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She reviewed the contest would see the contestants solve a more practical-based question and urged the audience to educate themselves while they have fun.
Usually fun. Yes.
The students will disagree with you.
If you can get into the finals, trust me, you're already a winner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you should be thinking about how you can harness this opportunity to bigger and better things, and not that there's too much.
To the alumni, to the rest of the public, and the euphoria on social media is a big deal.
Yes. The thing is, sometimes we forget that this is an educational program.
Okay.
I want all of us to have the fun, sing and do all those things, but at the core of it, we are learning science.
Yes.
And so please try and see the education in it. I'm hoping that the audience will behave themselves so we have a smooth program. The basic science that they are learning, that is the foundation for the technology, for the engineering, and for the things that change societies.
Maxwell Agbagba is joining us now. Maxwell, we are all looking out to that grand finale, but I'm also interested in what's happening in the hall as we speak.
Well, Blessed, all is set for tomorrow's grand finale. The team is still at the Great Hall. Some of them left some minutes ago, but they have been putting finishing touches to what they started yesterday. Some old students of the participating schools have also started arriving here in Kumasi in groups. Some Odadias and Santa Clausians I met earlier this morning were lodging in hotels nearby. They tell me they arrived early because they do not want to travel in the morning, but want to relax, touch base with some colleague old students here before the contest tomorrow at 2 p.m. Earlier, I saw some old students of one of the participating schools gathering on the field here at the KNUST to pray for a good day tomorrow. So it is a big day for all the three schools tomorrow, especially because Prempeh College wants to catch up with Presec Legon on the NSNQ trophy table. They want to be at par with them, 6 trophies. Presec Legon also... they want to win the contest and extend their lead to 7 trophies. At this other college also, they want to win it for the first time because they want to win it for the second time because the first time they won it was in 2016. That was a very long time. They want to win it again, this year. So really, it's a big day for all the three schools. In fact,
this new twist to the questions, the quiz mistress is giving us a sense that we may have this time around practical questions.
Well, yes, that was in an interview on Love FM earlier today, and she said that there's a lot of effort to make the questions very applicable so people can relate to the questions that are being asked. And she revealed or gave us a sense of what to expect tomorrow. She says tomorrow the questions are going to be more applicable, more that people can relate to, more of what people can relate to tomorrow on the grand finale day.
Of course, Maxwell Agbagba will be getting all of the live actions for us as when it happens. Coordinator at the Prime Time Limited office, Stephen Yankee, has also been talking about the prizes up for grabs. And we'll definitely get all of that for you by tomorrow when, of course, the boys will be charging in the hall. I'm just wondering what Spikey is looking up to which of the schools you're on the lookout for. Disco, Presec, Prempeh.
You know, I'll go with Presec. Just because that was the school I wanted to go to.
You like the
that was the school I wanted to go to, although I didn't get to go there. But we're still connected some way, somehow. But still, then they bore me.
Okay. So what's happening tonight on GigSquad?
So we're continuing a conversation from last week, talking about cybersecurity. We're in October, which is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and last week we were talking about hacking and people being exploited online. So we're teaching people how to stay safe in the connected world.
And of course, you want to join Sparky and the team on GigSquad, but you do know that there's a music side to almost everything. Mapitso Sibidi of Joy Entertainment in the following report looks at some of the old and recent hit songs that may reflect how Ghanaians may be feeling. Well, don't ask about my opinion. The song will say it all. But it's a way of wrapping up here on News Nights on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Blessed Sogan. For more news, just log on to myjoyonline.com. Until then, we'll leave you with these great tunes.
There is no doubt that President Akufo-Addo was the choice of the people in 2016 and 2020. He won the polls, promising to deliver economic growth and prosperity. But Ghanaians may well have reason in this economic situation to sing one of Irama Beidu's classics.